So hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. Today is October 22nd, Sunday here. It's around 6:52 Eastern time. We see the futures slightly green, oil slightly down. So 10-year yield closed at 4.914. Obviously hasn't opened yet. So tomorrow we'll see what it does. And the biggest news, this last week is obviously the 10-year yield. So we'll just jump to it right away. And you can see it make a new high. If we go to monthly chart, the last time it was this high was back in 2007. So this is really causing a pretty big headache for the market. It hasn't really quite, 50. Yeah, it's not quite 50 yet. 49.24 here. But it did like go near 5. So it might go a little bit more higher. It's possible. That's all I'm saying. I think, yeah, it's possible to go to 5.5 and a quarter, right? That's what some people think. But yeah, we were near, really high yield, and this is really causing a headache for the equity market, as people sell bonds and also sell equities at the same time. So hopefully this will end soon. That's pretty much all we can hope for. Yeah, and let's just jump to dollar. And so we're going to come back to weekly chart. Like even the dollar is pretty high, right? Like you can see, like this is on the monthly chart. Go back to weekly chart. Yeah, it's right here. Go to daily chart. So it hasn't gone up as much, but it's just staying at this high level here. Yeah, so hopefully we're getting to near the end of this like crazy jump here. Like this has been a long run here for the dollar as well. The last thing is the oil, and oil, really bounced back. Like this is a V-shaped bounce, and I don't think anyone expects this, but it is happening. And obviously the war is still going on with Gaza and Israel, and it's gonna probably get worse before it gets better. So there's a high likelihood this will continue, right, because of the war and stuff. So definitely. Also this will also kind of cause a headache for the inflation front, and yeah, so this is not good either. So the market is facing a lot of headwinds, and I think in general, like there's a lot more fear now, and also like there's more articles that talk about fear, market crash, all that stuff, right? On Twitter, same thing, so yeah, I think we have to just kind of stay composed and just manage our risks and kind of just follow the stocks that are the strongest and go from there. But yeah, like there's probably the biggest thing that has happened this week is like Nasdaq kind of undercut this fall through day low, and so I think it did. I'm just trying to see if it undercut the previous low here, 12963. Not quite yet, pretty close, right? 12963, 12977. So it's like literally like 10 points away. Like it's like so minor, right? So yeah, so last week just kind of go back a week ago, we were like near the 10-day, and you know, and we were saying, you know, it's gotta hold this 10-day. If it doesn't, it's gonna come back and test this low. And so we are exactly near this low now. And so we're gonna be testing this low now, right? So, and if we don't, like, you know, because the 200 day is so close, like you know, it might as well test the 200 as well. Like, we really need to get this flush out, right? You know, so that's my take on this. Is it'll probably fall to the 200 day, but you know, it may not. I'm just saying it's pretty close. We go to S&P. S&P is actually at the 200 day line now, which kind of coincide with the low, the previous low here. So in a sense, like, S&P is going to be testing this 200 day line before Nasdaq does. But it's possible that both of them will test both the 200 day line at the same time. But this one just kind of close, like it's already at that level. So yeah, so it's gonna be very interesting to see how this week turn out. The earnings front is gonna be the major, you know, one of the major things to, you know, to see where the market goes from here. So this 4200 is a very important level for S&P. Like, it's a long-term trend line. I think it's roughly this level here, like on the weekly chart. It's probably around here, yeah, right here. So it's been like you know, resistance here, and then we went through it, and now we're coming back to the previous resistance. So here we really need to see a bounce, right? Because if we don't, then we went back into the bear market. Like, that's how I would classify, you know. Technically we're still in the bear market. We never hit new high yet, right? So, but from a technical perspective, like, if we fell this 4200, then there's really no more support line, right? You know, and then we fall back into this bear market trend. It's possible, you know, but again, I don't know the future, nor does anyone. You know, does this yield stuff gonna cause any major blow up, like what happened in February, March, you know, with the banks and stuff? Like, I don't know. Like, it's you know, everyone keep talking about the commercial real estate bubble and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. There's so many potential things that could happen, right? Like, but last time when we hit, you know, 4.8, like, let's go back to the yield. Like, I think it was February, March was 4.8, right? Let me just go back to weekly chart here. Yeah, it was, you know, we hit 4.3. Oh, okay, maybe not high. Yeah, around 4.0 here. So even at that rate, it caused so many issues. Now we are much higher. So, you know, like, is there going to be any crisis? I don't know. So nothing has come up yet. So so that's a good thing. But that's the thing, right? If something comes up, then we have a huge problem. Yeah. So yeah, September retail sales number were much better than expected. Like, increased 0.7%, more than the 0.3% estimate. Excluding auto and sales, it rose 0.6, also triple the 0.2% consensus. So retail sales came in strong. Yeah, so that day, the Nasdaq fell early 1.5%, but recovered for a loss of 0.3%. Yeah, the 50-day moving average, it was the resistance level, right? Obviously, by the end of the week, we know it fell back down below. Like, it couldn't go above it. And then there was this bad news that came out of the chip sector that they want to restrict more sales of AI chips to China. So Nvidia gapped below 50-day that day. right? And yeah, and it was a big drop, like 8% the first hour. So that day, Nasdaq has a distribution day. So let's look at Nvidia quickly here. So here you go. It was right here this day, October 17. So it gapped down, and then it closed, you know, somewhat near the upper range, and then the next day, you know, it gapped down again. So Wednesday, Thursday. So you see, it never recovered, right? It never recovered. Now we at this, you know, this lows here, around 400, between 400 and 410. So very likely this will test this lows, I think. Just because, yeah, it's just on a very like downward momentum right now, and it's gotta need some good news, right? Like maybe like this week we have the big tech earnings come out from Microsoft, Google, and you know, some of those guys. Maybe they'll change this, but right now the momentum is still heading down. So until that change, this is probably will test the 400 level, because a lot of people, I tell you, have stops at 400. So if it go below 400, we're gonna have a huge trigger, and that will shake out a lot weaker investors, and then maybe it will bounce back after that. But that's where a lot of people's stops are, because everyone's keep talking about 400 before. So, and it, you know, and it did survive that twice actually. So if I clear this again, see 403, 409, right? Both times it survived that. so yeah, so a lot of people have the 400 stop, you know. Anyhow, let's see how that goes. I'm out of this stock. I got triggered on that day too, on October 17. So yeah, so now like I'm gonna have to wait until this downtrend is over before I can get back in. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, but the next level is gonna be, like I said, between 400 and 410. This is probably where we're gonna test. And if it does go above down below 400, then that's a big test. That will be a lot of sellers at that level because of the stop and stuff. But the 200-day line, you can see, is catching up pretty fast now. So we're getting close to 200 days. So normally institution stocks, they definitely come in at 200 days. So that's why, you know, but that's a lot lower still, right? That's like 340, 350 here. So yeah, so that's still far away. So that's what happened on Tuesday that day. Wednesday, we had another distribution day. Treasury yields keep rising. It hit 4.9% that day, and it's the highest already, even 4.9 since 2007, even at 4.9. Gold keep rising. Yeah, 7 times in 9 sessions. Yeah, you know. So gold. I'm just trying to remember what's the ETF for gold again. Let's look at GLD.
GDX.
Yeah.
No, that is minus.
Oh, okay. This is minus. Eh? Yeah, minus also doing, like, follow the gold price pretty good. Look at that. Right? What's the index? Sim?
GDX.
GDX. Yeah, GDX. Yeah, yeah. Look at that nickel. So okay. This is interesting. There's 2 negative reversal at the top here. That's very interesting. I don't like that. Like when I see that, I don't like it. People are really just trying to sell, right, on those 2 days. See, the volume is a little bit higher too. So yeah, it could be, like I said, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the gold. Like Jim Ropel is a big fan of the gold. Like he keep thinking it will break out, right? But it hasn't break out in like 2-3 years, man. So like this is the breakout line right here, September 20th. I think this is probably wrong. I don't remember that. This is ETF, so the number might be different than the gold price. But yeah, it hasn't broke out. Like it fell like many times now, right? And so this is one, and then this is another one, and but people keep thinking it will break out. It may break out. Like it looks like it already broke out here from a double W pattern or double wedge pattern. So probably is good for a trade, but the big money is going to be made only if it breaks out of this major trend line. So otherwise it's a really turnaround trade. Yeah, so that's where gold stands, and this is yeah, so GLD is acting a lot better than the gold price. Interesting. So that's that one. I know like some people, like I don't own Goldfield, but some people bought Goldfield and they make pretty good money here. This is a long-term trend line, broke it right here, so that would be early entry point. But yeah, it is but this stock is like really thin and low price, right? So that's why you can make some money on the trade or something. Yeah, so that's gold. We already talked about oil. So XLI, industrial, XLB, they continue to suffer, right? Which is interesting. I don't know why they get hit so hard. And tech like TEX, Caterpillar, MLM, like all these stocks just got hammered. Lithium got hammered. Airlines got hammered. Like lithium stocks got hammered. Like so many like industrial related stocks got hammered. Like and commercial stocks, right? So really weird. Like but we haven't looked at Dow Jones stocks chart, but Dow Jones chart, like we go to Dow Jones here. It's the strongest one, like the two, because it hasn't even hit a new low. It's down 3 days as well, but it hasn't come back to the low, whereas S&P and Dow did, right? I mean, and Nasdaq did. So this is also a very interesting like divergence, a little bit of divergence here. But but this is the large cap Dow stocks, right? Whereas the ones we just look at, like the industrial XLI, they consist of like many like smaller ones, and those are the ones that are getting killed, right? So the large caps are doing okay, but the lower cap, like the general, see this one already hit new low. So yeah, so like Caterpillar like got hit hard. Look at this. Like this is undercut the low, and now it's at 200 day. And that's the thing that it happens so fast, right? Like once it undercut that low, it dropped to 200 day. TEX, okay, look at that one. Look at this. Wow, it undercut this and it just broke that 200 day, and now it's at no man's land now, right? So who knows how far it'll go. So like this is the scary part. Like that's so with all this being said, like IBD, obviously by Friday they changed the outlook to market in correction now. So anyhow, so we'll keep going down this note before we reach Friday. So then we have Jerome Powell's comments on Thursday. I thought he was actually, for me personally, I mean, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but at least based on some of the comments, highlight of the comments, I felt like he was actually, he's still hawkish, but at least he admit that consumer are starting to restrain on spending, right? So that's a good thing, I think. What did the market do? It closed 0.9% down. Nasdaq down 1%. And Russell fell the most. Hit a new low for the year. And then that another distribution day. Right? So it's like 3 days in a row, like market keep selling off and on higher volume, right? And then the wicks jump to the highest level since late March. So let's go look at wicks. So here we go. So and then we have Thursday and Friday even higher. Now it's nowhere near like February and March, but still, like we at the highest level right now. So there's lots of fear, there's no doubt, and volatility right now. The one good thing that happened on Thursday was Netflix, right?
Yeah, 16%.
Yeah, and I didn't have the guts to jump in the morning that day. But anyhow, it's on my watch list right now. But this is a very strong jump, and the volume is crazy. And Friday, I thought it was very impressive that it didn't give back much. Like, it was down 0.2% on Friday. So it didn't, like 16% jump, normally you give back like 3, 4, 5%. This guy never gave back anything on Friday. That's insane. And the volume is still high, meaning there's still lots of buyers coming in to take all those who want to get out, right?
Yeah.
So Netflix, I really talk about this, and I knew it from before too. Like Netflix is one of those stocks that is very well known for gap ups, and usually because of earnings. So I think this one was one of them right here, right that week. It's a long range. There's probably more. This is probably another one right here. See the arrow pointing the earnings day, right? And then this is like more recent years, right? But if you go back in history, like even like during the teens of the years, whenever Netflix does this, it's like super growth after, right? So for this story, I recently like switched to the ad model, okay, as a subscriber, and that's what they report, right? They report a huge jump, like I don't remember the numbers, but like I don't know if it's total 8 million or just the ad model 8 million, I don't know, but it was a huge jump in numbers on the ad model. And to me, like the ad model is probably a lot more profitable in the long term because there's no limitation, right? The more ads you show, the more money you make. Whereas the fixed price model, it's like, okay, you collect even the premium one, $20 from each person, or each household. That's it. That's your fix, right? Like you can't go higher than 20, right? With the ad model, again, I don't know how much they make from ad model, but in the long term, they probably can make more than $20 a person, right, or household. So I feel like there's more growth potential there. And also, like, the numbers are really strong, right? Like, you know, you can see here, September, EPS, 373, right? And then revenue also grew, right? Like 8%. So, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, let's say I was a premium subscriber before paying $20. Well, now I pay $6 as an ad model, but they're still able to grow their revenue. That to me, that is like, you know, again, I don't know how much that's attribute to the ad model itself, but maybe they just got more subscribers, you know, on top. But like I say, I think like long term, there's a higher potential for more revenue, like if they can get those ads, right?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know if this will change. We'll see. But I like the numbers so far. It's very impressive. Because I was thinking for the longest time, like, you know, this year I said, you know, Netflix, if people switch to ad model, like, are they gonna are they gonna lose revenue, right? And so far, it hasn't shown that. You know, they're able to like still grow. You know, not big, but like I said, this is like 8% revenue jump, but not big, but they're still able to grow. Like, and right now, like, I don't know if you have the ad model, but I tell you, right now I have the ad model. You barely see any ads, like barely. Like maybe every few hours you might see one ad, you know.
And so ad model means per install you are paying, or
no, it's just they just show you the ads, right? So
ads.
Yeah. So the ads are like, you know, like I say, they don't show that much ads right now. So like for me, I don't feel a difference, right? Like after I switch, like I save $14 a month. But like I say, I don't feel like the ads are really intrusive, you know, like kind of making it less enjoyable for me, right? Like usually, you know, and the ads are really short, like 15-20 seconds. It's not like 1 minute, you know, no, or 2 minutes, no. It's like really short. Like you pretty much take a deep breath, close your eyes, blink your eyes a bit, and so on. So like you don't even feel it, right? And like I say, it's like you watch a movie. I was expecting like 3 or 4 commercials. There's times when I watch the whole movie, like I say, 2-3 hours, I might see one ad. So they definitely don't have many ads. But that's why I wasn't sure. Like but I was more worried about like them, like you know, that if people switch to the ad model, they will lose revenue of that, right? But it hasn't shown that. That's what I find very impressive, especially at this early stage. Yeah, I think you know their margin will continue to widen if this is true. Yeah, I probably need to do a little bit more research on this. But anyhow, I feel like so far it's very impressive. So Friday, the market continued to sell off. No recovery. Bears are clearly controlling the day's action. Yeah, so the tech is now could be soon testing the 200-day line. That's what we talked about earlier. S&P already undercut it a little bit, the 200-day, and Dow Jones is holding up better than other indexes. So we also talk about that. But who knows? You could soon also test the recent lows. Small caps definitely the worst. Make a new low. And now market is in correction according to IB. So those are some big moves. So on this long-term chart, you can see Russell 2000 here, hit a new low, and this is you know, in the last year, since like 2022 June here, this is the like a multi-year low, 1641. So we are about 39 points away, 40 points we call it. So that's roughly like 40. A few percent away, not that far, right? So 40 divided by 1640 is, yeah, really, like it could be one bad day and we will break this multi-year low, like all the way back to 2020. So very close, very close. So the market may want to, you know, as you can see, all these indexes may want to test all these lows one more time, and then see what happened. You know, hopefully we'll see a bounce there. Equal weight Nasdaq, you can see it broke the 200-day line already. So that's this is like you know, pretty bad. Yeah. So now, like whenever like an index break like 200-day line, it's okay if it's just one day, right? Like, but we need to see bounce right away. Like, you know, if because people are watching this like a hawk now. If this thing doesn't bounce right away, people are gonna make the decision to sell, and then this will go further. And people, you know, and more people are gonna start throwing in the towel, right? And then it can go a lot further. So that's what usually happens, right? So we are like super critical. Like Friday, you know, that's what happened, right? Like in the morning, you're watching it go down, and you're like, oh, it broke this line, and people wait for it to come back up, and it didn't. And then by the end of the day, there's even more selling, and that's usually what happens, right? Now so you know, we start a new week tomorrow, and same thing. People are gonna, like, some people might say, hey, let's just wait till next week and see what happens, right? Same thing. They're gonna do the same thing. If it doesn't bounce back right away, more and more people are gonna throw in the towel, and that's why, like, you know, volumes are usually start to increase because people are starting to pay attention, and they're starting to act more. And so yeah, this is usually what happens at the bottom of a correction, is you see high volume, people starting to give up, and so forth. So let's jump to RSP here for S&P equal weight. So, you know, so we are same thing. We already broke low. This is way below the 200-day line, so there's definitely not even any support. There is one support here at 135 from March low. So that's the last support line. this is also a big support level going back to a long time. So this one is also really big, like just like Russell. We break this, like we're in no man's land basically when that happened. You know, so this is crazy. This is like, yeah, this is, you know, so you know, that's the thing. We are, you know, in danger zone, basically saying, are we going back into the bear market, right? That's the danger zone. And it was funny because Friday there was a few people from IBD and Jim Ropel, and they were having a seminar session. All they did was just talk about the market, and at least one of them are very bearish. Like they think it's a bear market now. Yeah, so it's very hard to say, right? Like, you know, no one knows what's gonna happen. You know, because we haven't seen situations like this in a long time where the yields just go up so high, and the thing is, like, we're nowhere near the end, right? Like we haven't seen unemployment numbers jump up. We haven't seen any of those things that the Fed is looking for, like, you know, CPI coming down fast enough. Like none of those things have even happened yet, and so maybe it could go on longer, right? And so so that's not good for the market either. But there's definitely more and more fear now, so you know that can also drive you know, what you call contrarian indicator, you know. And so let's jump to the sentiments quickly here. Let's see, where is the sentiments here? So yeah, CNN Fear Grid Index now is like it's still like it was like extreme fear, and then it bounced. Okay, let me just refresh this just to make sure this is correct. It's okay, yeah, it's like near borderline between fear and extreme fear, but we definitely hit a new low here on some of the indicators like market momentum, extreme fear, stock price strength, extreme fear, stock price breadth, extreme fear, put call option. This one is probably very important. But it's interesting that this is not near the high though. Like I would like to see it hit a new high for more puts. Volatility, new high, we know that. Some of this bond stuff, yeah. So it's definitely, like, you know, lots of fear. There's no doubt about it. And then the AAI survey also came back down a little bit from 40 to 34. But that's only till Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday obviously drop more, so probably more fear. Again, Monday will be important. Like I don't think there's any news that I know of. Like next week, GDP growth will come out, so that's gonna be important. Like it's supposed to top 4%, but if you look at the Atlanta Fed meeting, let me go to that one. So the GDP now model from Atlanta Fed is 5.4%. So they're expecting 4%, but yeah. So you know, let me just jump to the numbers here from the. Oh no, that's the interest rate. We can look at that too. But calendar. So we also have home price index come out, home sales, yeah, GDP. Okay, so here it looks like 4.5 million, 4.5%, but the Atlanta Fed thinks it's closer to 5.4%. So yeah, either way, it's still a strong number, and so yeah, so that's why, you know, probably more companies will do okay, but it's just more about the guidance, right, going forward, more so than the current quarter. And that's why some companies got hit hard with earnings and stuff. So anyhow, next thing, the number on Friday will be important. That's another inflation number. So Friday, yeah, you know, but before Friday, you know, we have many earnings stocks coming up from like Microsoft, Facebook, Meta, Google, and I think Amazon too. Yeah, and this week, yeah, I don't know, almost everything suffered, right? Solar stocks got hit hard. Some computer hardware got hit hard. Super regional banks got hit hard. Yeah. So last Friday we went under pressure, and this week it continues, and you can see all this red means like distribution days, starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And beginning of the week we were doing fine. Like we had a jump here from last week to Monday, Tuesday. It was like accumulation. But then by Wednesday it turned around and we have way more distribution. Which is unusual, like to change all of a sudden. And then on the sector side, yeah, there's you can see industrials getting killed, a lot of financials getting killed here, even tax as well, health, retail, and commodities probably the strongest one of all. So we can look at this list. So there's lots of stocks that I've been monitoring in the last month, and some of these ones I think they're still fairly strong. Like this is financial service, RELY is the symbol. The blue ones are all the financial, like Goose Service Insurance, Futu China Stock, Cancel Insurance, also insurance, ACGL Insurance. All those guys are still doing really well. And then retail, not so much. Miniso is still standing. There's a newcomer, Ollie, like retail discount. I believe they reported this week, and I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure they reported. Let me just double check. There's not many stocks that are even have any accumulation this week. But the ones that did are the ones that are. Oh no, they didn't report, but it did make a move on Friday, which is very interesting. So look at how this RS line jumped so much this week. This is unusual activity. So yeah, and all these it can be a growth, like I don't know, it can grow basically. It's not like a super growth stock, but it can move. David Ryan likes this stock. Like he usually trades this stock when he sees an uptrend. So that's Ollie. We have Netflix. Yeah, let's look at Netflix. Yeah, we kind of already did, but let's look at it one more time. If the market can bounce this week, like especially if it bounce off like the lows and close strong for a couple of days, I think Netflix will have a high chance to move. First, it has to pass this level, then it has to pass this level. But this is the early stage, right? So I like to get it like within few percent, 5% of this level here. If it start moving. So yeah. So this again, RS line is like this is the RS line right here, and like it's already moved so much to it, like closer to it. And then we have this one here. So let's see how that goes. Okay. And then Lulu. Yeah, Lulu is definitely pulling back, but I think it found support on Friday. So lots of stocks, like some of the lists here, most of them went down for the overall for the week, but a lot of them found support. So here you go, found support right here. It bounced off the 10-day, it didn't quite hit the 21-day, and then closed at the top. So those are good signs. Probably just draw a trend line here and see if we can cross this trend line. It's a very steep trend line, so but let's see. It's one of the stocks that are at new high ground for RS line. Probably the other thing we want to look at is like on the weekly chart. See, on the weekly chart you can't even tell it's pulling back. That's how crazy it is. It's at new high, the RS line, and the blue dot is right there. And this week has the highest volume ever. You see, so So you can say it's an ugly week for the market, but this stock is able to withstand all the selling, so much volume, and it's still near the highs. That's very impressive. So I think Lulu might have a chance to be a leader. If it comes back to this high again one more time, I think, and breaks out, I think it will go to, like 500 would be the 20% mark here. So that's Lulu. Yeah, and then we can look at and then the next one that's on the top here, there's a few, not too many, but a few, like TDW, oil and gas, LPG. They're still standing strong, and Energy Coal, CAIX, still strong. So they're still at the top here. And then we have Lilly, medical stock, and NBO. Those two, they pull back and trying to find support. They still haven't found support yet. So I think it's very critical for them to find support, like very close. Like right now, you see it's coming to a 50-day. Go to NBO. It's 1 week of pullback. It's like because the previous week was so strong, right? You can see the bar is so strong, and this week is back. It's an inside week, so hopefully next week it can. And it's near 50-day now. It's getting close to 50-day. So hopefully we can see a bounce soon. So those two are still like the obesity drug, killer there. Like they just probably make lots of money from that. And then we have some security safety from the industrial area, like CDRE and Exxon. Surprisingly, they're acting really strong. You can see, like, it just keep going up, and then Exxon, I think is trying to come out right here. So it came out a little bit and then pull back. So hopefully, but the volume is super low. You can see that. So really strong RS rating. Like again, on the weekly chart, you can see the RS rating is at new high right now. And then finally, I think the tech stocks. Yeah, let's look at the big cap right now first. Let's go to Meta. So second week down, but look at RS rating. It barely budged 2 weeks in a row now. This is impressive relative strength. Let's look at Google. Almost same chart, right? 2 weeks down. Look at the RS rating, barely budge. Again, very strong chart. Let's look at Microsoft. Look at this, Microsoft. Microsoft is really surprising me right now. It built a really tight 3 weeks pattern, and like it even hit new high on Thursday. Friday it gave back though. But again, this is acting really strong in my opinion. Like the relative strength is just really strong. Like even on the daily chart level, it's just look at how it just keep making new highs. Like on Friday, look at even on the down day, it didn't budge at all. Like it's just just the recent trend is just so strong. Yeah, Microsoft, like I don't know. The CEO was saying how a lot of customers looking for the AI tools, and they just couldn't come up fast enough, right? They just need to get it out as soon as possible because people are really wanting it. So those are really good things for Apple. Let's look at Apple. Apple is just hanging on by the thread here, sitting in the 200-day line. We already look at Nvidia, so we're gonna look at Tesla. Then we have Tesla here. Obviously it has a bad week from the earnings, and look at how fast it came down, and it broke this low and this 200 days. So this is in danger zone now. So we need to find some sort of support soon before it goes down further. Yeah, or it can go back, but we'll see. So we have MongoDB. We have FICO. FICO is doing really well. Let me just bring up the chart. So you see it's near new high. It's trading really tight, like so tight. Look at the RS rating. Hitting new highs even as it goes sideways, just because it's acting so well. Because every other stock is going down, right? This one is not. And then look at the weekly chart. The RS rating is just at new high. So it's just acting so strong, and this is a very consistent stock riding the 50-day line. It's $900, 22 billion cap. Earnings are pretty decent here. It's growing revenue. Look at that. So everything is looking good for this stock, and it's definitely a leader. Probably not talked about as much as people. I never hear this stock on CNBC, but anyhow, on IBD they do talk about it. So the other areas that I like Adobe. Like again, Adobe, even though it's not the Magnificent Seven, it's a large cap, 246 billion. Again, look at the RS rating on the weekly chart. It's at new high, right? Even though it pulled back this week, volume is slightly lower. We'll have to see if it finds support here. It hasn't found support yet. ESTC, Elastic Database, Computer Database Maker. You know, almost every tech stock fell on Friday, right? But look at this volume, under average volume. On the weekly chart, it's near new high, right? So still holding strong, very strong. Next one, Palo Alto. Palo Alto, again, the whole security group is very strong, but something happened on Friday, and Okta got hacked, right? Okta, and it really took down the whole sector. I'm not sure, you know, if that's the reason, but I guess we can look at Okta. It was acting so well, and then boom, and it was like in the middle of the day. If you look at the 15-minute chart, it was like, yeah, right here. Not even middle, almost near the end of the day. And we go back to Palo Alto. I just want to see. Okay, so this one dropped. So yeah, it dropped even before that news. I just want to see if they got impact. And then we can look at CrowdStrike. So okay, so it didn't get impact. So yeah, so look at CrowdStrike. It's falling to 21. So almost all of them are falling to the 21 day now. On the weekly chart, again, very small blip, you know, because it's still near the high, but it has to find support. Zscaler, it's right here. Right, so Zscaler, yeah, see, they all have the same pattern, right? Thursday, Friday drop, pretty big drop on both days. So this group has been like probably one of the strongest area, and I was actually listening to an analyst. I can't remember who that person is, but anyhow, just talking about like how security threats going forward, using like because of AI, things could be, you know, move really fast, right? Like if someone using AI to hack something, it's going to be much faster. And so the world is changing, and companies need to adapt and needs to deal with that. And so the security companies, they should all benefit from this. But but when you have a company like Okta got hacked, it's not a good news, right? So I don't know if this group will continue sell off this week. It's possible, but at least looking at the intraday chart, they didn't get impact as much as I thought. So that's a good sign. So, you know, again, CrowdStrike, you see, I didn't see any drop here on that news. Yeah, so that's a good sign. There's another one, Qualys. Qualys, yeah. So they all had the same pattern, and at least based on the chart, the Okta didn't really affect them as much, because that's, you know, the last thing you want is the whole group just get killed because of one company. So anyhow, so far so good. But that's the sector that I like the most in the tech. NTX and TNX still holding on. ANET. Okay, let's look at ANET. Okay. So ANET is at 50-day. It's a very tight base right now, like super tight. This is the tightest base you could have. Like, what's the base depth? 11%. It only corrected 11%, and now it's just trading tight on the handle. And RS rating still near the top on the weekly chart, and it's at the 50-day right now. So this is the base low. So let's see if we can hold. Yeah. So that's that one. Let's see what's the next one here. We have. Oh yeah. So we have the design software. I think. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just the design software and one other stock. Okay. So CDNS, right? Cadence. So they're reporting this week. Oh yeah, tomorrow, one day. So that's tomorrow. So it fell back down. Volume is slightly higher than average. So we'll see if they can report good earnings or not. So that's another area, right? Design software. Because of AI, you need less and less people to do the creative stuff now. Like, you used to need a lot of, you know, actual people to do the work, but now you might need some less people, right? Because you can use AI to create designs, to create content, all that stuff. So, you know, so companies like this, you know, like businesses are gonna lay off some people because of that, and then they're gonna use this software, right, to help them create those whatever designs they want. So so I think that's why they're doing really well. So we'll see if we see the numbers show any big improvement, but relative strength wise, this is has been pretty strong. And then the other one is Hypnosis, also same thing. They do design software, and so let's see here. Yeah, so, you know, it's still very strong. Again, every tech stock pulled back this week, so very few. I don't even think there's, except Netflix probably. But yeah, and that one is not even really tech. That's more retail. But this one did undercut 21 days, so slightly more than usual. So we'll see. And then the last one here is more Bitcoin related. Bitcoin has really good week, 14% up, which is unusual. And but a lot of the stocks tied to Bitcoin hasn't moved as much as the coin did. So this is one example of it, but it did break out from this trend line here, and volume is there. So, you know, and there's no selling volume. Look at that. There's no selling volume at all. So this is officially in the uptrend, and we'll see, you know, whether this will continue this week. But this is one of the few stocks that actually up for the week.